Do you ever feel like your English is trapped inside your head? You know the words, you know the grammar, but when you try to speak, everything slows down. You pause, you stutter, and you feel frustrated. The biggest myth in language learning is that you are helpless without a conversation partner. You think you need a native speaker, a paid tutor, or a classroom to get better, but that is simply not true. What if I told you that the most effective tool for building fluency is something you can do right now, sitting in your room completely alone? It's a simple routine that hacks your brain to stop translating and start speaking. Let's fix your fluency today. Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to tackle the biggest obstacle in your language journey, the belief that you cannot improve speaking skills by yourself. We see this all the time. Learners spend hours searching for the best way to improve English speaking alone, thinking there's some magic app or website they haven't found yet. They think, I need someone to correct my mistakes, or I need a teacher to guide me. While those things are helpful, they are not requirements for fluency. True fluency isn't built in a textbook, it is built inside your mind first. If you can't formulate a smooth thought alone, you won't be able to do it in a high-pressure conversation. Today, I'm going to teach you a technique that bridges the gap between your thoughts and your mouth. It is practical, it costs nothing, and it requires zero partners. This method is often called the 3-2-1 technique. Some learners also adapt it as the 5-3-2 technique, but the core philosophy remains exactly the same. It's based on the most fundamental law of learning, repetition. But be careful, I am not talking about boring, mindless repetition where you just repeat a sentence like a parrot. I am talking about smart repetition, repetition with a ticking clock. Here's how it works. You need to strip away the complexity. I want you to choose one single, simple topic. Don't try to explain quantum physics or global politics. Pick something easy. Talk about what you did yesterday. Talk about your favorite coffee shop. Talk about why you decided to learn English in the first place. You can even read a short article or listen to a podcast and use that as your source material. But the key is to stick to one subject. Once you have your topic, you're going to speak about it 3 times. Round 1. Set your timer for 3 minutes. 3 minutes might sound short, but when you're speaking a foreign language, it's actually a quite long time. In this first round, you're going to talk about your chosen topic until the timer goes off. This is your rough draft. Because you have a full 3 minutes, your brain has the luxury of time. You will pause. You will search for vocabulary. You might make grammatical errors. You might say and ah a lot. That is completely fine. In fact, it's necessary. You are exploring the territory, finding the ideas, and letting your brain wander through the language. Do not stop yourself. Do not obsess over correcting mistakes. Just keep the flow going for 3 minutes. Now the magic begins. Once that timer hits 0, stop. Take a deep breath, reset your timer. Round 2. Set your timer for 2 minutes. You're going to speak about the exact same topic. You're going to tell the exact same story or explain the same ideas. But this time, you have 33% less time to do it. This restriction changes everything. Because you've already formulated the ideas in round 1, you don't need to search for the ideas anymore. You know what you want to say. Now your brain has to figure out how to say it faster. You will naturally cut out the fluff. You will stop using long, winding explanations and start using more direct sentences. The pauses will disappear because the path is already clear. Finally, we reach the ultimate challenge. Round 3. Set your timer for 1 minute. This is where true fluency happens. You're telling that same story for the 3rd time, but now you have to be incredibly efficient. Efficiency in language means conveying the same meaning using less energy and less time. By this 3rd round, your brain isn't panicking. It recognizes the pattern. It says, oh, I know this story. I've told it twice already. Your speech becomes smoother, faster, and more automatic. You are no longer translating from your native language. You're simply retrieving the English phrases you just used. This process is essentially how to speak English fluently and confidently by training your brain to access words instantly rather than searching for them. Why does this work so well? It works because of a cognitive concept called retrieval. When you force your brain to pull information out quickly, you strengthen the neural pathways. The first time is like hacking through a jungle with a machete. It's slow and hard work. The second time, there's a path. The third time, you're running down a paved road. Now, if you're just starting out and 3 minutes feels too short for that first round, you can modify this. You can use the 5-3-2 technique. Start with 5 minutes to give yourself massive amounts of time to think, then cut it to 3 minutes, then cut it to 2 minutes. The specific time doesn't matter as much as the reduction of time. You must go from longer to shorter. That pressure is what forces your brain to optimize. To get the best results from this exercise, there are a few golden rules you must follow. Rule number 1, do not write a script. This is a speaking exercise, not a reading exercise. If you write out your speech and just read it, you're training your reading skills, not your speaking fluency. You're allowed to write down a few key words or bullet points to keep you on track, but the sentences must be created in the moment out of your mouth. Rule number 2, don't change the topic. It's tempting to get bored and switch subjects between rounds. Don't do it. The power of this technique comes from repetition. If you change the topic, you're starting from zero again. We want to refine, not restart. Rule number 3, make peace with your mistakes. This technique reduces anxiety because you're alone. No one is judging you. If you mess up the grammar, keep going. Mistakes are proof that you're moving. Silence is the only failure. Conclusion. When you finish that final 1-minute round, you'll notice something beautiful. You'll realize that for that last minute, you weren't translating. You weren't struggling. You were just speaking. This helps eliminate the fear and nervousness we usually feel. Since you already know what you're going to say, the surprise factor is gone. You're polishing your speech, making it shine. I challenge you to try this. You don't need hours. Give this just 10 minutes a day. Pick a topic, set your timer, and squeeze that time down. 3, 2, 1. If you do this consistently, I promise you, in a few weeks, you won't recognize your own voice. It will be stronger, faster, and clearer. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found value in this method, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe to English Glow for more practical tips on mastering English. I'm Tom, and remember, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and let your English glow. I'll see you in the next video.